So last week, when the JLab Epic Sport ANC and the Epic Air ANC went on sale 50% off at Best Buy for $49, I went wild. I thought that was the greatest price ever for these feature-loaded earbuds. I posted a quick video on these Sport ANCs, and now I've been using them for a week, and this is my follow-up report. Now, at the time of this video, these are not available on Amazon, but I will still put a link in the video description for where you can buy them from either Best Buy or probably the JLab site. But always search for a sale on these. Apparently they could go on sale for $49, right? Black Friday's coming. Now, these sport earbuds from JLab still feature a unicorn set of features, right? From ANC to ambient mode to a lower latency movie mode, plus they have in-ear detection. They have JLab's excellent app with all the features that I showed on the JLab Epic Air video. And as an ear hook designed earbud, they should be great for runners like me and for doing any kind of sport type of workout. Now, for a sport earbud, the case is actually really cool. Like, it's a really nice case when I compare it to like even the Powerbeats Pro, but certainly like the MPOW Flame Lite and Flame Pros. It's contoured here in the front. You get the 4 lights. The buds fit in there really easy. You always know when they're charging or not. The connections work really excellently. And I've even grown accustomed to the size of the case, which is actually pretty slim. So I don't mind putting it in my pocket, but it won't fit in that 5th jeans of my pocket. Now, this case charges via the built-in USB-A cable, or you can charge it wirelessly, and the buds last a ridiculous 15 hours per charge with ANC off, and a total of about 70 hours using that case. Now, if you put the ANC on, it drops to about 8 hours per charge, and about 50 hours with the case. It's just still a ridiculous amount of time to not even have to plug in a case. Like, you're charging your watch every night, you're charging your phone every night, like charging your earbuds could be just second nature, right? Now, JLab generously provides 6 sets of silicone ear tips with these earbuds. They have the short variety, the long variety, and they give you that foam set of ear tips like I was just showing you that I have on here. Those foam tips are going to give you ultimate in comfort and passive noise isolation. Now, on top of the passive noise isolation, of course, the active noise cancellation on these and the ambient modes on these earbuds just give you a lot of extra flexibility. There's also an off mode. So as you toggle through the different modes, you get ANC on, ANC off, and ambient mode, all tappable through the touch controls. Now, JLab's ANC is called Smart ANC. It is a hybrid system, which means that there's both an outward-facing microphone and an inward-facing microphone, and those will work to cancel out the sound of whatever around you. Well, whatever, right? What does that mean for you? I mean, for me, the main one thing that it means is in the wind, they don't amplify the wind. It still works when you're outside with a slight wind. Now, overall, the ANC works okay, but I've left the ANC on its max setting in the app. It's just not a very overpowering ANC. It just gives you a little bit extra noise reduction than just the passive setting. But the ambient mode, on the other hand, is really pretty powerful. And on that, I've actually tuned that down to about halfway in the app because it's just a little bit too much. Like ambient, you want to just hear what's going on around you. You don't necessarily need it amplified. But that capability is there if you need it. Now, all the JLab earbuds that I've tested, I've tested like 4 pairs now, they all come with switchable EQ via the touch controls. So you get the JLab Signature, the Bass Boost, and the Balanced. And with these, with the app, you also have a 4th mode, which is your custom mode. So you can set whatever you want in there for your settings of the EQ, and that 4th mode it's going to give you when you triple tap through it, it's going to be like beep beep, that's your mode. And I think that's a fantastic feature, right? I love switching through the different EQ settings, the 3 that are JLab's and the 1 that is mine. And I mean, depending on the music that I'm listening to, I always find something to listen to the right EQ settings that I like. I think it's a great touch. I do find it a little odd that the equalizer in the app only goes down to 200 Hertz. I think it would have been better if it went all the way down to, say, 80 Hertz, which would be really like in the bass, sub-bass zone. Well, below 80 would be sub-bass. For sound, they do support AAC for high definition audio, and in watching Disney Plus and various YouTube videos and whatnot, I just turn on movie mode with these. I hold both buttons for 3 seconds, you get into movie mode, and then there's no lag at all while watching movies of any kind, right? Just, they work great. And I also use that same lower latency, they call it movie mode, but I use it when playing Call of Duty Mobile. And I'm going to tell you that I really enjoy playing games with these earbuds because that low latency mode works really, really well for movies and for gaming. And remember, when you listen to my latency test app, do it with wired headphones or right off your speakers of your phone. Don't use Bluetooth earbuds and add to the latency of the latency, right? Okay, so that latency with movie mode on is seriously low latency, right? It's 190 seconds in my test. And remember, my test adds some latency just because of the equipment and whatnot. So that number won't be as low as the manufacturer would claim. But you can imagine if you're playing games, that would be the experience that you'd get to what you saw on the screen. Now, the touch controls control everything on these earbuds, but out of the box, they set it up so that double tap is next song and double tap on the left earbud is the assistant, but triple tap on either bud is set up to change those EQ settings. So I actually went in and changed it through the controls to make double tap on the left go to the previous song because that was just omitted in the out of the box settings. And then I changed it so the right bud triple tap calls up the assistant and the left bud triple tap still changes those EQ modes. It's not perfect what you can change in terms of customizing the controls, but it is really flexible. Now the Bluetooth range on these I tested at 34 feet, which isn't a great number, but it is pretty much what's advertised. And I really didn't have any problems with connecting with these during any of my workouts or runs. Now the sound quality of the JLab Epic Sport ANCs, it's very good. Especially with the built-in EQ settings, you can get these to sound kind of bass heavy, balanced, or I guess you can even tune them into kind of a tinny mode if that's a word. Now I personally prefer my own EQ settings to be the one that I listen to, but you're still able to cycle through all 4 EQ settings and get what you want depending on the kind of music you're listening to. Now, I would say with bass boost mode on, the bass is strong and it's satisfying, but I would never really call them overpowering from a bass perspective. I mean, these might not be a bass head's first choice, again, like the last JLab Epic Airs that I tested. But most people are going to enjoy the bass on these buds. Then there's the JLab Signature mode, where the mids and highs are really clear and they're positioned really nicely and forward in the sound stage. I don't think you can fault them at all for the mids and the highs. And at high volumes, I think the highs can even get a little bit close to being harsh, but at normal volume, they sound really well done and forward and decently detailed for this price of earbud. Now, if there's anything to complain about, it's probably that it's just an okay sound stage. I mean, left and right is not an issue. Like you can hear clearly something from the left, clearly something from the right, but the sound doesn't seem to engulf you so much as it does in something like the Soundpeats H1, but it's still great for a workout bud, I would say. Okay. But let me talk about how I feel about these earbuds. I was so excited about them, right? But here's my first issue with the JLab Epic Sports. JLab designed these earbuds to fit pretty closely to how a dot style earbud would fit in my ears. They actually sit pretty deep in my ear canals. And what that means is that these actually fit better for listening to music and ultimately for just staying in your head as you shake your head or do whatever you're doing while working out. But they actually aren't great for high impact workouts or running because they actually do a good job of sealing in my ears. Now I'm sure there are some people who might really prefer and even appreciate that deeper seated position because it does block out a lot of ambient sound. I'm just not one of those people. So here are my favorite features. I mean, the app experience of this is just the best app experience of any bud I've tested, and at 49 bucks, it's just forget about it, obvious, a great deal. But even at 99 bucks, it's pretty good. The sound is decent, especially for working out and watching movies, and even for gaming, I think the latency mode is excellent. But again, these wouldn't be my first choice for running. In fact, this morning when I went out on my run, I actually didn't even use these. I went back to using my MPOW Flame lights. So that's going to give you an indication of just how much I don't like these for running. Now lastly, JLab put multiple microphones on the Epic Sport ANCs. Actually, they put 6. There's 3 on each side. So let's check out how well these do with some sample phone calls outside and some traffic.
This is a sample call with the JLab Epic Sport ANC. I'm taking this call outdoors. I've got some cars going by in the background, and we are checking out the microphone quality. I've already tested these outside, and I know that they don't do a great job of suppressing background noise, but I wanted to get one on here with the video so that you can see, for example, with this big van going by in the background. I think what happens is it tries to block out, with the CVC, it tries to block out like the sound of the background noise, and sometimes it also captures and tries to block out my voice. So my voice gets a little bit crackly, and it doesn't actually suppress the background noise.
Okay, I think what you can see from that video is that they work okay for indoor use. They work okay when there's not a lot of background noise, but when the going gets tough in a noisy environment, I just don't think these are a very great earbud. Okay folks, thanks for watching my review of the JLab Epic Sport ANC. I know I'm a little bit disappointed in them for like being the ultimate running and workout bud, but I think they're still a super solid choice for if you can get these for $49 this coming Black Friday or Cyber Monday. So watch for it. I will post to my channel if I see them come in at that price again. But if you're in a toss-up between the Sports and the Epic Airs, I would go with the Epic Airs for that slightly better, simpler fit and that slightly better microphone quality.